is Barbara speaking, and thank you very much for watching my channel. And I'm living in Shanghai, and I wanted to talk about the coronavirus and how it impacted the normal people, and how it was how the local government was treating these kind of the diseases. And if you're interested in my channel, just subscribe and support me. And the first time when we heard the news is at the nearly middle of the January about 2020. I can't remember exact date, but it was nearly at that time. Some kind of the people were talking this kind of the story. It was very little people that get affected. I think about it, probably get affected, and they have a news about this, but at that time nobody take care about it and not pay too much attention about the kind of diseases. So, and also it also was a time people are separated about the Chinese New Year. So we just preparing to leave the work and heading to the our hometown and to celebrate with the New Year. Before I go back to the hometown, I was take some kind of theory of the kind of thing. I wanted to buy some kind of the face mask. I wanted to buy the kind of face mask in the pharmacy of the Shanghai. I wanted to use this kind of card. Okay, this kind of card. This is a medical card, and it can help you to buy. You use this kind of card to buy. Like the drug, the doses, and if you have the illness, and you have to use this kind of card, because some kind of the payment will be paid by the public or the government, and it also have some kind of the money, inside of here. So I want to use the card because I don't want to use the extra money to buy the face mask. But when I would go to the pharmacy told me is you cannot use this card, because the policy told us is we have to use the extra money to buy it. I don't want to do that. It is a different, some kind of the province. I'm not sure, just like the different states, they have the different requirement. So some kind of the state, province, they can use a medical card to buy the face mask, but some kind of the like Shanghai, they cannot use it. I don't know this. I just think I can use it, so I wanted to buy it. But when the staff of the pharmacy told me I cannot use the card, so I'm not purchasing it. This kind of the thing really let me very, very, feel pity about it, and I feel sorry about it. I really regret these kind of actions. So, after 20 days later, and the face mask is really very urgent. You cannot, even if you want to use the money, you cannot buy it. Okay? So, this is another story. I will talk to it later. So, I'm not buy the face mask. I really feel sorry for it. And then, we drive the car back to the hometown. What I mean, the hometown is my wife's hometown in Jinhua, Zhejiang province. My daughter, my wife, and my parents-in-law, that actually is my wife and my wife's parents, and we go back to the hometown. Why we go back to the hometown? Because the relative of my wife had told my father, parents-in-law, and they wanted to go to Jinhua and to celebrate with the New Year. So this is traditional, traditional moment, celebrate of the ordinary Chinese. So during the New Year, the big family, the big family, they were to, join together to celebrate with the Chinese New Year, just like the Thanksgiving in the Western country. So we go there, and when we go to the Jinhua province, my parents-in-law, we push a lot of food. A lot of the food from the grocery and the supermarket. Why? Because nearly about 15 people from the different cities, and we drive the car to come to my wife's hometown, and we celebrated the New Year together. So we have to buy a lot of food and to do the preparation. But the cases are becoming more and more serious. The television told us that they have more cases, but we still think Jinhua is separate because at that time there's no people infected. my family, my wife, my daughter, and me, we went to the went to the downtown and go to the shopping, and have the lunch in the restaurant in one of the building. And we have very happy moment, very happy life there at that day. But when we go back to home, we just surfing the internet, and we find one of the bad moment is one guy who working in the building, which is the location, that we have had a lunch there. The one guy is sourcing specialist and get infected of the coronavirus. We felt very nervous, much nervous about it. We just think that we probably have the possibility to or the infected the kind of diseases. My parents-in-law just told us, you don't need to worry about it. There are 100,000 people that was gathering there. If you guys get infected, all the people they would probably have the possibility. So you're a lucky guy, you probably don't have it. But the result is all happy we are not infected by this. So we're lucky guys. But as what I will mention is, we are not buy the face mask. But at that moment, we realize face mask is a priority thing that we need to buy. So we drive the car to the downtown, wanted to buy the face mask, and in ordering not to touch too many people, I drive the car. I not to let my wife or my wife to go together with me. I drive the car to the downtown and to the each town, a small town, to wanted to buy the pharmacy. I go to nearly 30. I cannot remember. Probably 40 pharmacy, and the result is they are sold out. They don't have the face mask. So one remember thing is, during the very urgent cases, please prepare some kind of very necessary, the thing that you need to prepare. Like for the virus, you have to prepare the mask. If you sometime in a war, you probably have to prepare some kind of or anything probably like the medical box. You have to prepare some food, anything like that. So I really feel really great about what is action in Shanghai. I'm not fine because at that time it is not shortage, but right now it's really shortage. No one can buy it. So I can show you the picture is one of the old man. He used the orange, use the surface of orange, and to make all the surface use as the face mask. How it originated at that time, they will have it. So we cannot go out. We just stay at home. We tried a lot of resource, and the thing coming better because one of the classmates of my wife, and he had some kind of pieces face mask, and they agreed to share some with us. So we are lucky guy, and I wanted to buy a lot of things, but they stopped us. They will not sold out everything to us, sold all the things to us. We just have nearly 50, but that's enough. It's enough for us. And the government is controlling the price. You cannot gangrene the price and becoming more and more expensive. You cannot do that. You have to give the normal price, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. If it's too much higher, and you are violate of the regulation, and the government will punish you. So probably a lot of pharmacies they will not even they have probably they have some of the face mask, but they don't want to fill in the face mask. So this is probably at the situation at that time. But we are lucky guy. We have the face mask, so we then go home, and when we go home, and you will see the local government and the local community has shared information is they recommend you repeat remember my word. They recommend not to go outside the door. If you have to go outside the door, you have to use your face mask, and no gathering and no partying. And this year, do not gathering together. Your relatives do not gathering together. Celebrate the holiday at your home. So all my relatives from the different city, nearly 15 guys, they told my parents-in-law, bye-bye, I'm not have a holiday with you. and I will stay at home. I cannot go outside because of the coronavirus. I think it's good action. I think this is good action because keep the distance, keep no gathering is good for cut off all the spread of the coronavirus. Okay, so we buy a lot of food, and we have to consume it by myself. And even the 20, I'm not sure, probably 3 weeks or 2 weeks at the Jinhua, and we cannot consume it to all the things we cannot consume it yet. So we just take this kind of the food, and it was delivered back to Shanghai, after 2 weeks, and after and the case and the case would be becoming crazy, so we after 2 weeks, and we go back to Shanghai. I wanted to tell you guys is when we go back to Shanghai, they broke the street because I remember at that time after the date, I cannot remember the exact date. I remember either after the coronavirus had becoming some kind of becoming very impacted, probably 15 cases in the Zhejiang province, and the government has released over the first cases. What I mean, the top cases, emergency policy. That means cut out all the public transportation, like the bus, like public bus, and like the subway and others. So that what means all the transportation have been cut. After 2 weeks, we have to go back to work. So we wanted to drive back to Shanghai. When we drive the car in the Shanghai, you will see in the border of the Zhejiang and the Jiangsu province, Shanghai province, and it takes on like the border of the like the North Carolina and Georgia, the border. So in the border, we cannot go because everyone need to be tested. So testing your temperature would be over higher than too much higher, because you could get a fever, you get a sick, and have to be tested. So if you are okay, you're healthy, and you can go. If you're not healthy, and they have a lot of ambulance, from the hospital, and it will delivery to catch you up in the ambulance and send you to the hospital. So no one left in the border. Everything need to be screened. Every guy needs to be screened. Okay. So my family health is okay, and we are normal. So we go back to Shanghai, and at my home. And there's another law policy in Shanghai. I mean, not only Shanghai, every state, every province, they have their own policy. But the policy is the same. Is you have to stay at home for 40 days, and then you are allowed to go outside. So you cannot break the policy. You have to stay at home for 14 days to ensure that you don't have any like the symptom that like a high temperature, fever, sick, anything like that. So stay at home for 40 days, and this is what my life like. And also the government, they give us extra 1 week. We cannot go to the work. We have to stay at home. And another, you give us 1 week is stay at home for work. So after 2 weeks, and with the Shanghai, the case number have been stable. What I mean, I cannot remember to exact number. I mean, every day probably they have been increasing, single cases, probably 5 or 6, probably, not too much. And then we allowed you to go to the work, but we have to report. We use our internet to report to the government and report to the company every day, even till now. I remember Shanghai right now, there's 0 case. All the cases either from the overseas come to Shanghai. So there's no in cases domestic in Shanghai, and now we have to report our health status every day. Use the internet before you work and have to report it. If you are in the or like the if you have the high temperature or anything like that, and you are not allowed to go to the work, probably the hospital will contact you, and you have to go to the hospital to get a to censor and to have to check to get some treatment to check whether you have the disease or not, you have to get infected or not. So this is what my life like that. And another thing is my parents is living in the Jiangsu province. Even till now, I cannot go to that province because it is allowed that you go to that province. But when you go back Shanghai again, and you also need to be in quarantine for 40 days. You understand? So if not the urgent cases, I will not go outside of Shanghai. That means in people living in Jiangsu, if not urgent cases, they will not live in Jiangsu. So this is the state of right now, what is the thing that we have to do here. Another thing is, my ID, my ID is the, identity card. This is like the, like American, theory card, SSN, like the kind of things, social network number. So my ID was registered in Suzhou, and the Suzhou, I remember the 12 times I gave me a call and asked for my status. Suzhou nearly about, let me think about it, probably about 10 million people. So each community will contact everyone to them and ask them about the health status. I'm moving because the government care about my health. They call me, where are you? I say, I'm in Shanghai. So are you okay right now? I said, I'm okay. Okay, you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, that's great. And you take care about yourself and use your face mask and give me a lot of, like the kind of recommended, suggestion words and tell me a lot of, protection, tell me how to protect myself. Give me twice. So this is really moving me, and even the local government in the community. When we go back to Shanghai, we have to register in the local community. The local community, we have to report our status. Where we going, where we go. Like, for example, if you go to the epicenter, Hubei province, there was, nearly 80% of the people who infected of the coronavirus would happen in that province. So you are not allowed to come to Shanghai. You don't have a chance because you have to stay in your province. But other places, like it's not a higher infected province, the state, they are allowed to come to Shanghai. So I have to report my status to the local government, local community, report my status, and have to check what is the thing that I have. And right now, Shanghai government, a lot of local government, they use the healthy status, and you can see what the health status like. So the healthy status, and we're telling you what is the status that you are. If the health status is green, that means you're okay. If you are yellow, that means you cannot go out, and you need to get some kind of treatment. Okay, so you are dearly to report about your health care to ensure every people be treated if they have any urgent cases. And that is the way how the local government and how the government and our ordinary people are doing during these days. Okay, and then I want to talk another thing is about Hubei province. Because 80% of the people who infected with the coronavirus would happen in the Wuhan. This is the capital of the Hubei province. That's just like Atlanta for the Georgia, and Nashville for the Tennessee, and Wuhan for the North Carolina. Just like the kind of the city, the capital of the Hubei province. There were nearly like probably 70% of the people that were infected with the coronavirus, and each in China we nearly have 30 more states, province, sending the medical troops, medical group people, medical people, nurses, doctors, and it just said nearly about 1,000 people. From my hometown in the Jiangsu province, we sent about 3,000 medical people come to the Hubei and give the support there. So 3,000, and every state they nearly, I'm not calculating too much. Let me think about it. nearly 100,000 medical go there. And I'm not mentioning about the military, medical, army, other than 1,000 people they were sending to the Hubei and to conquer the kind of disease and give the people treatment. So if you calculate the number, I mean, we have 800,000 people impacted, in Hubei province. So within the nearly equally, the kind of the medical group, they nearly, one nurse they can treat about, probably 2 or 3, the kind of the patient. That means we can do the kind of the thing. It's really moving me too much. And I'm really crying when I would see the video of the people that were standing there. And a lot of people volunteer about that. I mean, I also see some kind of story is some, medical people, nurse, and they have died, sacrificed themselves. So they really inspired other people, and they are really encouraged, and they are brave, spirit. I mean, I'm really moving, and I'm really feel very proud of the kind of guy, and they are saving the country, and they are saving the life of other people. This is a really great job they are doing for them. And also, I wanted to say another thing is really moving me is actually, if the people, they get the coronavirus, and in China, what I mean in China, all the people, not only that you're, the nationality with the Chinese, or that you're not you are the foreigner in China, and the government give you the free treatment. So right now, some people calculate, I don't know the actually, number, how many costs about that. Some people say that, every guy who infected by the coronavirus, the medical cost is nearly about 10,000, 100,000. I'm sorry, $100,000 $100,000 each patient. So it really costs a lot, but it is free. So the government give you a lot of benefit for the ordinary people, and all the tax is free. So it's not for the free. It is not a story for free. You are mandatory, and you have to get a test if you have any symptom related with the coronavirus. That you have to. It's not so we will give it free. You have to get it tested. So this is what is happening in China, and I towards right now, a lot of states in China nearly zero, and this is really great job. So what is the government and what is the ordinary people? So this is interactions, we are doing together. The local people, the local government, the state government, and we are taking all the resources to holding the kind of the issues. And right now, the face mask is not a shortage, and you can buy from the internet. You can buy every, you can buy a lot of channel. Right now, it's not shortage, and right now, all the medical group has coming back because the epicenter, epicenter with Wuhan, in Wuhan. Now the issue has been controlling. A majority of the people who infected by the coronavirus has a recovery, has cured. So it is really the good news. I hope, but one of the patient thing is the people who are in the outside the world, the global society, has been getting infected with the coronavirus. I really feel sorry. I'm not sorry. It's really bad news for the people that was in the global. They had been impacted by the kind of diseases. So the global society, we have to working together to conquer the kind of the diseases. So it's a real disaster for all the human beings. So it is not that visible army and enemy. It is the invisible enemy. And it would easily be infected. So global society need to cover together, and I know a lot of cities have been locked down. And really good news, we have to lock down the city, just like what the China do. Right now, they have also locked down some kind of the cities in China, and probably months later, several months later, and everything will be recovery. So I just hope every people that will see my video will get healthy and not infected of the coronavirus. I hope that God bless you Thank you very much.